Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Triforce podcast.
How are you today?
Episode
Fantastic.
4.
Wait, I was the Triforce. Wait.
Yeah.
Period Flax has forwarded me an email this morning. I just noticed it come in. It's from a listener,
Yeah.
Harry.
You deal with it. This is not a mailbag episode.
It's not a mailbag episode.
No, we're making
Harry,
a special exception here for Harry.
Harry found a bodega book on Vinted for £1.
Paid
So
way
one of
too
you,
What?
You
One
paid
of you-
way over the odds for that.
one of you sold a first edition bodega for £1 to
Yes.
Harry.
You're,
And he was
honestly,
so
well done.
delighted by it that he wants to
Give it
give
away.
it away. He wants to give it away for charity to someone more worthy. Send me it, Harry, and we'll
A first
include it in our
edition for
next,
£1.
next birthday auction.
I wouldn't
We
pay
did
10
sell
pence.
a first edition bodega on the charity birthday
you sold
stream.
a first, second, and third.
We did. Well, they belong to me. There's
Yeah.
actually a nice clip on YouTube of Sarah showing it off and then dropping it, and so
She should have
it's
kicked it, trodden on
it. But no, it sold for a bunch, dude.
Yeah,
like
it's
some
stupid.
kind Triforce listener bought
It's very sweet.
all the 3 editions of Bodega. So we'll see if I can find it. I think it was like £300 or something. It's
Yeah.
crazy. They
Yeah.
paid a very
£300.
a very
Insane.
generous donation to charity. Thank you, whoever gave that. And also, someone bought the Triforce jogging jug that I had spare.
Yeah.
You had a spare one?
Yes.
Well, I get
You never
sent
know.
one of everything, you see. As
Right.
What?
and this
just
one was
of
just
everything.
£265 it was for the bodegas. That's pretty good, isn't it?
You get
That's pretty
sent
good.
one of everything. So you've
One of
got
all the
a large
merch
hadron
production.
collider. You've got a satellite
£207 for the Triforce jogging jug. That'll be a nice ornament on someone's
straight in the
shelf.
back pocket.
Thank you so much.
very
Zam 2013 was the bidder.
Jesus.
So
Very
yeah,
good.
that's cool, isn't it? So thank you.
That is
listeners.
really good.
Thank
It's
you.
hard. It was just a bit of fun to do. I realise it's not a particularly inclusive event when you have. We're really looking for those big bucks off the whales. You know.
Yeah, no pause.
Yeah.
You know, this is one of them highbrow events. Everyone's wearing a suit. You know, there's like canapes going around and people talking about how much money they've made in crypto or whatever. I don't know. God. I don't know what people talk about at rich people events these days.
Yeah, who
I don't
knows?
get to go to them really. You know?
Let me tell you, as I've just entered the Society for Rich People, I hit a bit of a personal milestone, personal finances. I've been dabbling. I got a couple of apps. The kind of stuff they talk about is just money. Just more
You downloaded
money. They
them or
just-
you made them?
I downloaded a couple of apps. I've made a couple of huge moves. I invested at the right time. You know, I saw some dips. I sucked up the
the
lows
event?
and held on to the highs. And
How much did you
next-
make, baby?
35 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sold a couple of lemonades in there.
Congratulations.
Boom.
Congratulations.
Sharpened a couple of popsicle sticks and put a couple of baseball cards into people's spokes.
Interesting.
And
Oh,
now
God.
I'm living the dream.
I also put some money into an investment account because I thought, you know, generally it moves up, doesn't it? I think if you'd had money invested I think it's at any point in history, it would have made money if you just didn't touch it for 25 years or whatever. Like,
yeah.
So I actually had a bit of spare money and I put £2,500 in an investment account.
$2,500.
Yeah, at the end of May. And now it's
All
up
right
to
for some, I guess.
Well,
Jeez.
it's just some. Everybody's got to have some savings.
Yeah,
So,
but I mean,
this is now worth £2,602.76. So
very nice.
you could call me kind of an investor. I've made
Wow.
£102.76.
Well,
That's a tidy sum. That sounds
Little
like
profit.
that sounds like two kids going to university to me.
It's not enough to
Maybe-
buy a bodega first edition, but you know,
No.
I'm working on it.
Many years ago, I invested in some gold and silver, and
Yes.
We know
Yes, I'm
about
very
this.
aware.
We are
and,
very aware of your
and
last
goals.
year,
Have you
it's-
seen any
well,
movement?
Well, no.
Have you
but-
seen any
well,
movement on those
here's the thing.
assets?
Here's the thing. Recently, it's gone up quite a lot, right?
So-
Right.
But I sold it all last year.
Oh, well done.
Oh, you sold it
Stop.
all.
I sold it all at the start of last year for about the price I bought it for.
Wow.
let's be
Well, at
honest.
least you didn't lose anything. At
So I
least.
didn't lose anything. Well, but I didn't get anything over like having it for 10 years or whatever.
Sure.
And so Well, because I'm buying a house, so I needed it in in more.
You needed to
sort of
liquidate some
accessible.
assets. Yeah,
Called up your accountant. Jerry,
I
I
don't-
got to liquidate some assets. What have I got? Gold, sir. Sell it all.
So I wish I keep getting these flipping notifications of like, oh, the price is at a record high, and I'm like, oh, kill me.
Could have bought 2 houses. Can I do a very early Flax news break?
Yeah, go for it.
All
Is
right,
it? Is there a big up in here anywhere, or just?
No?
All
No.
right.
No, this
Okay.
is the opposite.
Oh.
There was an esports team that played at the Esports World Cup.
Yeah. Is that the one that was in Saudi Arabia?
It is still in Saudi Arabia. It's taking place there. Yeah. So
Still going,
this is
all
a
right.
this is a PUBG team called
Right.
Team Aryan. Okay,
Right.
Oh, no.
which is all Indian guys
Oh,
and
okay.
one player called Hitler.
Oh my god.
That is his player name. Now, I'm going to send you guys a link to the statement that he made. I'll read the statement out, but I want you guys to be able to see it.
Team Aryan. Is it
Team
with a
Aryan.
spelled like with an A-R-Y-A-N? Yeah, right. Oh,
Yeah.
God, okay.
This is Hitler's statement. I want to sincerely apologize for my previous esports ID and apologize to anyone who's hurt by it. It was highly insensitive and hurtful, and I used it without fully considering the weight and historical pain associated with it. It was never my intention to offend anyone or glorify anything negative. I have changed my esports ID to Henry. Thank you to those who helped me realize this. I'm committed to making sure I represent myself. So,
This is just the latest in an
from Hitler.
edgelord teenager making a username that they thought was funny because they're a memey edgelord, right?
They're
This
12 and they're
Maybe
like,
he just
"Lamau, I'm
figured,
gonna be called
enough
Hitler."
time has passed. I can maybe get away with this.
Exactly. And suddenly, accidentally, gets really good at because he's like a teenager, he's just really good at Dota, I guess.
Right.
This is how it happens.
This really does happen.
And then
yeah.
he was like starting to become world famous as a player, and you're like, oh no. But I don't feel all that. I mean, I'm still using my some cringy logins and usernames for some of the stuff, right? From what I made when I was a kid, and I'm sure tons of people are, right? So I bump into it all the time. You get like a CV from a software engineer, and his name's like, flipping Five Nights at Freddy's fan 69.
I've actually
whatever.
changed all mine. I wanted to take a more serious approach, so I've changed all my usernames to Christopher Levis, honors, BCHS honors, and a PhD, and what's the other one?
MDMA.
BSOD. That's the one.
I think have you got any of those?
No.
PSOD.
Okay, well that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's just
I'll
how to
fit
get
right
your
in
foot
with the
door.
rest of the people that don't have them.
Exactly.
Well,
So
you
I
should
will
just
say,
be fucking Dr. Sips,
Yeah, I just wanted to really, I wanted to boost my LinkedIn profile. Is why I've done a big
I
change.
see.
Yeah.
I get a lot of job offers on LinkedIn, not from people, but from the app or the website that has looked at the quote unquote skills that I have, if you can call
Right.
them that, and tries to find jobs that it thinks I could do.
Any good ones?
No.
Oh.
They're all absolutely terrible. So yeah, it's quite funny because obviously I don't have experience at a company for 16 years now, really.
No.
And so it looks like I've just been unemployed. And the things that you put in as your job, LinkedIn doesn't really get them, and just assumes like, this guy's no, never heard of him. So
I've had
it
a
recommends
great
me things like
stint.
data entry and stuff like that.
I've had a great stint of unemployment myself for the
Oh,
past
God, I've
12
loved
years.
being
God, it's
unemployed,
been so
yeah.
great.
I've been contracted a lot, but I haven't obviously had a job.
I think LinkedIn is one of these kind of it's full of cunty language, right? Like
It's the worst.
like this guy I follow, a guy I know,
Yes.
a guy I'm connected with. I don't want to read out who he is,
Don't do it.
but
Yeah, please don't.
We're
It's-
best friends on LinkedIn.
but it's like just reading his it reads like the most corporate buzzword bullshit. Digital first, growth accelerator, paving the way for multi-platform revenue, and do you know what I mean? Like it's just full of garbage.
Yeah.
And I feel like mine is no different. My LinkedIn is all like I set it up 10 years ago, or God, maybe even longer. I changed the picture about 5 years ago. I need to sort of feel like I ought to just delete it.
Was that when
really.
you were in your samurai era, Lewis?
I don't know what era I was in. I've gone through a few, but there is a feeling that you have to play the game, right? You have to have at least a presence on there and an Instagram and stuff to feel legit. Like I do things that really require me to be legit, like Jingle Jam and things like this. And certain people do buy into this.
Yeah,
I think a lot of it
use
it as like kind of an extension to their online dating profile as well. You know, like somebody looks you up and then they're like, if you want more info, check out my LinkedIn, and then you have like all your, you know,
hey, look at my money. Here's a picture of me with money. That's
basically
here are my LinkedIn messages. I got my message from a man. I'm not going to say he.
No, don't dox. We've been here before. It doesn't go well.
Well, I was going to say I got a message from a cunt. But I got a message from a man.
Right. That doesn't narrow it down. Luckily, that doesn't narrow it down.
And, you know, it's just like, you know, do you need... I'm keen to follow up on my previous message regarding corporate finance. Mergers and acquisitions activity may be on your short-term agenda. I mean, I'm getting these kind of things. But also, I got a guy who just sent the words chicken jockey to me. Do you know what I mean? So I get the whole gamut of people. That seems like a nice man. I think he's a Yognaut. He is dressed in a very smart suit. His title says hospitality expert. So I guess that is he works as a server or like at a reception. Do you know what I mean? Hospitality expert. So I mean, I think that's, but I guess you have to like spin stuff, right? You have to constantly be grinding. Always,
you gotta fake it till you make it. I think is
exactly. It's a very American thing. But I mean, one of these things I do for Jingle Jam is I do interact with so many people to try and connive and finagle them to give me their games, right? And people respond to different things. Some people are just, oh, you're emailing me, great. I haven't had an email from someone forever. I would love to talk to you. Some people are like really business focused. They're giving me like pages of feedback on why Jingle Jam doesn't work and like how they should do it differently. Yeah. And they're like, you know, if I got a Porsche and I'm giving it away, you know, I'm not giving that away for charity. Like I'm keeping it for myself. So like, you know, it's nonsense. Like people are telling me how to run some, and other people are like they
now
want
listen here, Buckaroo. You've never run a charity before, but it looks fucking easy. I watched a YouTube video. I watched a 2-minute YouTube video on 4 times speed, and I'm pretty sure I know what I'm fucking talking about now. So
I know
it is incredible.
I
also think it's funny because I get people like you. I'm sure we all get these emails. Hi, stumbled upon your channel and want to help you with growth, and we can unlock blah 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 blah. And you look at this person's profile, you look at their online presence, you look at whatever shitty company they're advertising, and there's nothing there. It's just a black hole. There's nothing. They've got no successes whatsoever. They have nothing to point to. And they're like, they've got the balls to cold call you and say, hey, we've reached out to you because you are someone with some kind of measurable success. However great that is, or however small that success is, it's more than I've got, but I can help you, which is ridiculous. It would be like me going up to someone who has got a really nice car in my piece of shit and saying, hey, buddy, you want to hear something about car ownership and how to get a bargain? And I'm just driving a piece of shit and they're driving a brand new electric car or whatever. Why am I offering them advice? Who would ever buy into that? And I understand this LinkedIn mentality is you're just going to be a grinder. You're just going to cold call. Stop doing it. It's so wank. It is so wank. I hate it. Do you guys follow LinkedIn Lunatics on Reddit?
Yeah,
LinkedIn,
well, I don't follow it, but I see it occasionally. And every time I die a little inside. It's unbelievable.
So this is some guy's done this is a mock LinkedIn influencer post.
Unreal.
Yesterday I was walking to an interview. There was a starving dog on the road. I stopped to feed him and missed the interview. The next day I got a call asking to come in to do the interview. I was surprised, but I went. Then the interviewer came in. He was the dog. Like, that's it. It's just all that. Because the thing is, I feel like these people, they don't just want to talk about work. They want to make out like this is some spiritual journey for them.
Yeah.
Working and stuff. I do not understand where this LinkedIn delusion of it's not just about experience and work and connections and CVs, which is what it could conceivably be. For some reason, it has to be some big fucking spiritual journey. And I think it's what happens is if you get any measure of success, you become so egotistical and self-centered and so pleased with yourself that it almost feels like a spiritual experience. And you suddenly take on this kind of guru persona where you have to share this wisdom and knowledge with the poor people, like Jesus walking amongst the destitute lepers and handing out CVs. It's fucking pathetic. I don't understand why LinkedIn attracts these people, but it does.
Yeah,
it really does.
Yeah, it's like full of people exactly like that.
I think it's to them, it's become a hobby and a game to play. And it's almost like they found a bargain somewhere, right? You know, if you go to a boot sale and you find like a bargain, you get like this high of like, oh my God, like that guy who found the bodega for £1, right?
Right.
He's going to be looking for other bodegas. He's going to be looking for other stuff on there. Like that's going to be his little hobby. And I think these people, they've gotten some sort of success from this. I don't know what it is, but they're also the kind of people who come up with these insane ideas. Like, you know, like you said about that job interview thing, they're almost like they will disguise themselves as a receptionist. And it's like, I was pretending to be the receptionist when I, you know, brought in candidates for interview to see how they would treat me and then see their reaction when they realized that I was the boss. And it's like, who does this? Well, people do. And they think it's normal, right? Yeah. They think it's like a clever ploy to like, you know, where really all you're doing is like scaring away normal people.
Right. You're just hiring lunatics. But do you reckon when you get to a certain level of success, let's say you've started a company and it has done well, and now you've entered the LinkedIn era of your guru madness, that you end up having very little to actually do day to day because you're the owner. You don't have to be in every meeting. You're not down there doing all the grinding and the work. You're doing like business meetings and BDev meetings and stuff. And you're just kind of, you've ascended to this plane where you are actually quite bored in your office with your Newton's cradle and your fish tank and your, you know, bamboo desk or whatever. You're like, what the fuck am I going to do? Let's fuck with the potential
I think
clients.
You're wrong about that. I think that what they're doing is they're just lying in bed browsing Instagram and wanking. Do you know what I mean? They're not actually going into the office.
I mean, that's what I would be doing.
I'm not saying they're happy,
I wouldn't
but they're
be
not
making
depressed
a big
in
song
that.
and dance about it, though.
They're not depressed in the office. They're just depressed like, you know, like a retired person who doesn't know what to do with themselves anymore. But I mean, that's, look, PFLAX, like that is the dream to hand your created business off to other people, and so you don't have to do
just
it.
sit there making moolah.
I don't think.
God almighty,
I don't think any of these billionaires has lifted a finger in ever. Like it was always about getting other people to do their to work for them and do things for them, and so they don't have to do anything. And that is unfortunately the way capitalism works, and it's very poisonous in its distribution of wealth. Right, like. I think just for the record,
that is Lewis speaking. That is Lewis. That is not me. That is Lewis saying that. So if you're going to leave a comment or email me, that is Lewis's voice. This is my voice. So the things that Lewis is saying are not the things that I am saying. If you can pull your fucking heads out of your asses for a second, that is Lewis's voice. If you have an issue with something that he has said, that is the person to address it to, not me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You can still email PFLAX and complain about me. What's wrong?
No, feel free to do that. But it is not me speaking.
Sorry, what have I said here?
This is me speaking now.
What have I said here that you have a problem with?
No, I have no problem with it. The difference is there are people out there, I think they're mental people, who hear our voices and cannot tell the difference. And they're like, can't believe Pyrian said this on the latest podcast. And even if I agree with it, it wasn't me that said it. It was one of the other people on the podcast. I think they can tell who Sips is because he's Canadian. They know he's got a different accent. But between you and me, for some reason, even though our voices are very different, they're like, well, Pyrian's an idiot with his take on this. I didn't say anything. Brother, that was Lewis. So if you've got a problem, leave a comment directed at him. I don't know.
I've said this. I've said it so many times on this podcast. My take is like, you know, that these people don't know that enough is enough. They don't realize that billionaires today don't realize that they need to spend their billions on promo by building schools and hospitals. That's what the OG billionaires did to survive. And none of these guys are doing that. They're all doing things like renting Venice and getting protests against them. And, and being shot by people like Luigi. Do you know what I mean? They're actively sabotaging themselves. There's this backlash against the rich, right? And I'm just shocked when I see them being such publicly awful people. So I'm like, come on, guys, what are you doing? Like, you could be such a force for good in the world, and everyone could love you. Instead, Elon's all depressed now. He's
but think about who your friends are.
Me.
Think about who your friends are when you're that rich. You're not hanging around with anyone that's like living normal lives like the rest of us. You're hanging around with other dickhead billionaires. So or people who just want to
I did watch a movie about this, actually. There's a movie called Mountain
Triangle
Head.
of Sadness? Oh, Mountain Head?
Yeah, basically it's like 3-4 billionaires go away to like a secluded weekend retreat.
Oh,
and
so Jesse Armstrong. Oh, wow.
Yeah, these guys are basically like, the idea is they're the heads of the world.
It's got Jason Schwartzman, Steve Carell. This looks great.
Well, it's I enjoyed it. It's good. It's like a kind of, these guys are the four billionaire pals who are the owners of these, like basically the owners of Facebook, Google, and two others, and they've each got their own competing AIs, and there's like this huge amount of turmoil going on in the background while they're kind of on holiday, having like this kind of, it's having like this kind of really detached weekend where they're not in the real world. They don't really understand what it's like, and I thought it was a good little movie, and it I don't know.
Where can I watch this?
I watched it.
You
online.
pirated it. I knew it. Who's a pirate?
It's on HBO. There you go.
Oh, it's on HBO.
Lewis, I want to show you a picture real quick, and you tell me if you recognize this. Let me see if this link works. You see this bad boy? Do you know what that is?
That is an alkene. It says on Wikipedia.
That is a model of ethylene, the simplest alkene.
Yeah.
Look at the butt on that fucking thing. That has got a real dumper. If you know what alkenes are, look them up on Wikipedia.
I think that same icon is in Factorio, so you've probably seen it if you played Factorio.
It's a hydrocarbon. If you
Google ethylene and you look at the Wikipedia page for an alkene,
it's a butt.
You've got a great. It looks like it looks like
it's a big ass. I spotted that today because I went down a bit of a rabbit hole this morning where I was looking at.
I think you're a bit horny if you're looking at like a chemical.
No, I just thought it was funny. It was funny. My eldest keeps sending me pictures
red hot
of
chemical asses in my area. That's the search.
Rain frogs. Have you seen rain frogs before? It's like the African rain frog.
Sure.
It's got a butt. It's got a literal butt, and she keeps sending me pictures of that frog's butt because she thinks it's hilarious. So,
right.
So that's why I posted this. It's just I might send it to her.
Oh my god!
So
okay.
So anyway, I was going down this rabbit hole about
the horniest thing I've ever heard.
Continental drift.
Has your wife gone away or something? What's going on?
No, she's at work today. Continental drift, right? And I was
continental drift. What is that?
So continental drift is the way that the different tectonic plates of the Earth are obviously moving above and below each other. Sometimes because my youngest was doing this in geology or geography the other day. Sometimes when the plates meet, they both go up. Sometimes when they both meet, they both go down. And sometimes when they both meet, one goes over the other and one goes underneath the other. And sometimes they just rub against one another. And this gradual pushing, I know, very hot, right? Yes, if you imagine some alkenes doing that, now you're talking.
School would be way better if I'd tried to, consider everything as sexual.
As a sexual thing.
Oh my God.
So there is this thing called the tendency towards Pangea, right? Which is that essentially over time, the continents will smash into each other and form a Pangea. And then with the continental drift, they'll sort of pull apart again and be all separated and come back again. So Pangea Proxima, I will link a Wikipedia article to this, is the modeled and supposed future Earth sort of continent, the way it will look in the future. Pretty much all the continents slam back in together.
We'll splotch back together.
And we are all, in a very short amount of time, Africa plows into southern Europe. Australia wheels around and clobbers into China.
God, America puts on a lot of back fat and gains a bit of a dumper as well.
No, but I'm serious. In geological terms, 250 million years is nothing.
Okay.
Right? 10 million years is a blip.
You saying very short amount of time.
Very short amount of
in this
time.
context,
Yes.
it's 250 million years. That's, I mean,
Next
some
week.
people might say that's not a short amount of time.
Yeah. It's a long it's a long time for a human being, but for the Earth, it's nada. It's nada.
I love that, like, you know, it's like it's like they've gotten old. They got dad bod.
Yeah.
You know, Russia's, you know, years of smoking has
Just
caused
putting on
Russia
some
to like have a hunch or whatever.
Yeah. But here's the thing. If you watch, I found a video, you can easily find these videos. There's a video that sort of shows a time lapse. And again, this is, you know, this is all supposed and theoretical and modeled. It's not definitely going to be this way, but something along those lines I think is going to happen. If you look closely, the UK and Ireland never touch, and they never touch Pangea.
They were never meant to be together. That's
Brexit,
why.
100% from the moment it was voted in 2016.
Really?
250 million years from now, we're still not part of Europe,
Yeah.
which really made me laugh. Just like utterly bizarre. But anyway, I wanted to talk about what would society look like if there was just there's nothing between any country. There's no body of water. You could just get a train there or walk there. The most successful countries won't be geographically isolated from each other or from,
There wouldn't be any more illegal channel crossings, that's for sure.
Right, but would it be like a seesaw where whichever part of the continent is doing well, everyone migrates over there and it sort of tips the balance in favor of the other end where it's quieter, and now that becomes more prosperous. Everybody fucking migrates back over there over millions of years.
Really interesting.
You could build a railway that just covers the entirety of humanity. You'd never need to, I mean, if you needed to fly somewhere, you could. But if we're still around in 10 million years, presumably we'll have either teleportation or fucking insanely fast trains or God knows what. But just imagine if that was now, if all the countries in the world were smushed into one big thing, what would the changes
What would
be?
the cultural impact have been? Well, I think first thing would be that people would probably say, oh, there'll be less like diversity, right, of language and culture and writing styles and stuff. Well, because it's much easier to have, at least in olden times, isolation for longer periods of time between cultures, right? Like, and especially look at how I think there would be more standardization, you know, at least, for example, in Europe, I think the languages are closer to, I think the languages across land barriers, you do have them, like even English and Welsh.
Man, can you imagine how long Route 66 and the 401 in Canada would be as well? They'd have to extend them out.
There'd be one, like, well, I think you would still have a diversity, a big diversity.
I mean, there is in Europe, and
especially
we're all very small, relatively speaking.
Especially by climate. I think climate informs a lot of cultural choices and things like that and behaviors. And I think that, but I think also, certainly in more recent times, I think it would have been, there would definitely be less diversity in terms of animals maybe as well, right? Because you've got so much of the diversity of animals comes from islands and isolated areas, right, of evolving on their own for a long period of time. So I think if everything was just smushed in one big central landmass, I think we'd have a lot more extinct animals, because I think we would have killed a lot of them, you know, in earlier periods. You know, megafauna go quite quick if there's humans around. So I don't know, like I think it would be a much more boring world.
It would be,
right?
I mean, it would be like really, really gradual too. So like it'd be hard to, you'd have to like take a snapshot in time and then look back to it just to get like a real scale for all of the changes. You know, you'd have to snapshot at either end and be like, wow, look at how different it is. But like the slowness of how gradual it would be, you wouldn't really notice a heck of a lot, I don't think, you know. I mean, especially in a lifetime of one person, you wouldn't really notice a lot, you know. Like,
oh no, of course not. But I mean, let's say I'm suggesting that let's go back to the recorded human history.
Yeah.
So the beginning of like the ancient Babylon and Mesopotamia and Ancient Egypt and then ancient Greece and Rome. That era, if that was the beginning of human history on Pangea, I just wonder, for example, there would have been no quote unquote new world to discover. So there would have been no difference really. Like the Silk Road would be this permanent thing that just flows.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So there it is.
All the way across.
Yeah. So the migration of people would not be restricted if you think about the migration of people into America from, what we assume they traveled across the Bering Straits when it was a land bridge, people coming to England when it was attached to France, and then obviously the water levels rose, and as the Ice Age ended, cut off a lot of the land access routes to places. If you took all that away over the course of human history, not even recorded history, presumably there wouldn't be as many different races because, like you said, we're all basically in one place. Look, we're pure speculation here. We genuinely don't know. I'm sure there's some work been done on this. That would be a good email. If people want to email in about that, let us know.
It is kind of interesting to see areas
stuff like that.
Madagascar is a really good example of somewhere that is right next to Africa, right on that right hand side, that big island. But and that's the birthplace of Homo sapiens and all of the Neanderthals and everything came out of Africa, right? But
everything Homo came out of Africa.
It wasn't until 1,500 years ago that
Homo erectus
man reached Madagascar.
Yeah.
Right? Madagascar, it's a huge place. And same thing with New Zealand. It wasn't until 700 years ago that the first men stepped foot on New Zealand. And that is very recent, right? And there's places like Iceland as well. Wasn't really reached until the Vikings.
Yeah. Was that Leif Erikson? Was that all Leif Erikson?
Yeah, there are a bunch of these places that were very kind of just slightly too far away by sea for any humans to have made it across until they had proper technology to build boats. And
the Vikings were the first to really do boat stuff, though, weren't they? Like to actually travel quite far from where they were.
Yeah, they were.
Boat.
I don't know, because they say the Pacific Islanders did a lot of that as well.
Oh,
yes. The island hopping that resulted in
Yeah, but there's not like a 6-season series about them. So
that's true. That is true.
How the hell am I supposed to know that?
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly. That's a very good point.
Before we continue, have you ever browsed in incognito mode? Because it's probably not as incognito as you think. Google recently settled a $5 billion lawsuit after being accused of secretly tracking users in incognito mode. Google's defense? Incognito does not mean invisible. In fact, all your online activity is visible to a ton of third parties. That is, unless you use ExpressVPN. With ExpressVPN, you can change your online location so you can control where platforms like Netflix think you're located, giving you thousands of new shows to watch. It's very easy to use, it works on all devices, and the speed is blazing fast. There is no buffering that I've noticed, and I can stream in HD. I use ExpressVPN at home. I recommend you check it out. If you've been looking for a VPN, look no further than ExpressVPN. What can I say? I like it. So protect your online privacy today by visiting expressvpn.com/Triforce. That's expressvpn.com/Triforce to find out how you can get up to 4 extra months for free. expressvpn.com/Triforce. Did I tell you I've been reading this book called Dungeon Crawler Carl?
No.
Dungeon Crawler Carl.
So it's basically
God. Oh no.
It looks terrible, right?
Oh my God, Lewis. I'm looking at one of the people that's on. There's a thumbnail here, and guess who's involved? Seth Green, absolute penis.
What the hell? Is he involved somehow?
Sorry,
Green.
Seth MacFarlane. Seth MacFarlane.
Wait, Seth MacFarlane is the Family Guy, right?
Universal International Studios buys Matt Dinnerman's Dungeon Crawler Carl with Seth MacFarlane's Fuzzy Door and Chris Yost attached. So Seth MacFarlane's going to come in. He's going to do a Seth MacFarlane voice for all of the characters, and that's going to be it. So another thing ruined by this absolute bell end. Carry on.
Sorry, I think it's a really good book series. So basically, and you guys might like it. It was self-published as this kind of lit RPG, which is almost like one of these. I don't know. It's a difficult genre to explain, but it's kind of like a kind of feels like a role-playing game in that people are leveling up. There's game-like elements,
right?
And there's characters picking classes and stuff like this, right? But it's just a book. It's a novel, so it's kind of telling the story of someone going through this experience, and it's very meta. So the idea is that there's this guy and his cat. They fall into, I'm not going to spoil it, a sort of a big dungeon, and they have to survive. And so they have a HUD, and they get assigned stats based on their physical or mental abilities with which they go into the dungeon. But then they kind of level up. They get loot. There's this big AI controlling it, and it's being watched as well by an intergalactic audience, right? And it's fascinating, and honestly, it's very funny. I'm really enjoying it. I guess I think that it wouldn't be very well reviewed by traditional book people, but because I'm so in the gaming world, I spent 10 years playing World of Warcraft, it really appeals to me, and I just think it's really good. I'm on book 3 already. It's very dark humor, very over the top violence, very kind of crazy stuff going on. It's very grim in a sense that the intergalactic audience is very varied. I don't really want to spoil any of it, but it's really good, and I really recommend it. But I think it's an example of a genre that's adapting to the times, right? There's this certain group of people who have this idea of progression fantasy. It's called. It's the idea that it's very satisfying. One of the most satisfying elements of something like RuneScape is to see your progress, to earn your progress, to grind, to make these achievements. And we talk about LinkedIn and people kind of publishing their achievements, and I think there's a lot of insecurity in that, right? There's a lot of people who and Instagram too. I think the biggest influencers who have posted all these gorgeous pictures are incredibly insecure about their look or their life. Or it's the same thing with business. I think these LinkedIn, even the richest, most successful businessmen are terribly insecure. And so I think this is in a world where you're surrounded by people who are constantly showing off their incredible achievements and how amazing they are. It makes you feel terrible, right? It makes you feel useless and ugly and hopeless. And I think that this is why playing games that are fun, like Sips, you recently played Parcel Simulator, I know, where you just were delivering parcels.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's really good, actually. It's nice. It turns into a bit of a factory game. It's nice.
I'm just reading this. Dungeon Crawler Carl is about a Coast Guard veteran and Princess Donut, his ex-girlfriend's cat. They're forced to participate in a deadly intergalactic game show where Earth has been transformed into a massive dungeon crawl.
Yeah.
What's on Earth?
It's great. I think it's honestly great. Give it a go, and you might find that you absolutely love it, P-Flax. Right.
I hate everything about it so far, but I will try.
Here's the thing. I told Tom about it, and Tom was like, "Oh, this sounds terrible." And me and him had an hour conversation about it yesterday because he was up till 4 a.m. reading the books. So
okay, all right, I'll give it a go.
So it's a recommendation from Tom as well. If that holds more weight than a recommendation from me. It does,
because you read that Brian Sanderson Peterson whatever books, and I looked at those and they just look like I'd spend the rest of my life reading these things.
But yeah, I'm just saying, I think that it appeals to something deep in my being of in the same way that I've been finding myself drifting towards these parcel simulators and these factory games, and I played Cash Cleaner Simulator for about 12 hours this weekend.
Yeah, it's great.
Which was just me
weirdly
sorting stuff into piles.
Yeah.
All I was doing was I had all my shelves. I was here's all the hundreds, here's all the 50s, here's all the euros, here's the ones that need cleaning. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It was incredibly.
Yeah, it's good.
It was and I for me it's I always say that these jobs don't represent real jobs, not even close. Like Parcel Simulator, if you worked in it, that job doesn't exist. Okay,
no.
Of the guy building tables and sorting machines.
Wait, it doesn't?
That job isn't real. No.
Why are these only in hardback? Why can't I get them in paperback? This is ridiculous.
He's just
there. It is. Dungeon Crawler Tome 1. Dungeon Crawler.
Who's that guy who
1.
found Sam? If you find the first. No, it's not Sam.
For Christ's sake, I can't get it on Prime. Fuck you. Amazon.
Who was that guy? Yes, you can get it on Kindle.
I don't have a Kindle.
Do you like audiobooks? There's some really good audiobooks
I like to
of
read
it.
Things. I've got a long flight coming up, and I thought this will be ideal.
You're off to Japan soon.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it. I promise.
Saturday.
Japan will be
great.
You've
never
by the
been,
way.
Flax?
To where? Japan?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I thought you'd been. Oh.
No.
You'll love that.
Mrs.
It's so bonkers. It's
Mrs.
perfect
F
for
went
you.
for work.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
2 months ago, just bizarrely enough. When is this going to arrive? It's going to arrive today. Okay, yeah, perfect.
I'm so excited for you your take on Japan, because I know that you're going to see all the. Can you keep detailed notes or a diary or something?
Yes,
because
sir,
I really want you to give me your daily thoughts on like all the crazy shit you see, and because I'm sure it's gonna make your mind like go wild. All the stuff you see and interact with it, because every day you're going to see so many things, and if you don't write them down, you're going to forget.
I will keep a diary for the Triforce podcast, which I already have a document on my desktop called Triforce, because I often misspell Triforce as Triforce, and I make notes on there about things that I've seen during the week. So I'll do one about Japan, and I'll take pictures and stuff like that.
But do you have anything on there at the moment to go through? Anything important?
In Triforce?
Yeah.
I looked up there's a playlist of earliest internet memes, which isn't good for a podcast because the memes are obviously audio visual. They're all on YouTube and stuff.
Internet memes.
But yeah, it was things like I mean, you'll remember all of these. Charlie bit my finger and Trololo and all that kind of stuff. First of all, an awful lot of them are really long.
Remember
really
that
long.
One? He's climbing in your windows and snatching your.
He's climbing in your window. Yeah, that was
snatching your people up. Yeah, that one.
That was very big. So they did loads of memes, and there was like a full length song. But there were things like people did loads of animated videos with like something about a bunch of unicorns. There was the whole "look at my horse is amazing." All of those are honestly. I didn't really like them at the time because I wasn't a child when.
What about that one? The badger,
and then something bacon or something mushroom like that.
Yeah.
Right. So that is like fucking 8 minutes long or some shit. Like all of these memes are so long.
That's crazy.
So bad. I just look them up. It's not like a 10-second TikTok.
I think like a good handful of them.
You got a good point because Troll went on, didn't it?
It's a whole song.
It's like 5 minutes.
The song is so
it's a
long.
whole
It's
fucking
ridiculous.
song. So here's this playlist I've got. I'll pop this in. I mean, so this is on the
There's that
Crazy
bit where he
Frog
goes,
channel. I remember, Sips, you did a karaoke cover of and there were verses I'd never heard before.
I know,
one of them
the
is
whole
like,
song is...
he goes, I was laughing really hard.
Yeah, he keeps going. It goes, and then like I said, the high part, and there's
it
loads.
Really does.
You really nailed that even today.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there was
Crazy
so much...
Frog, which
there was so much backstory.
Crazy Frog.
Yeah.
What about the Gummy
around...
Bear song? You remember that one?
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that's on this list. Boxy, do you remember Boxy?
Nope.
Sure.
So Boxy was a scene kid. From like the early 2000s. She had very heavy black eyeliner and that haircut where they sort of swoop it across their forehead.
Right.
And she had really over-the-top facial expressions and exaggerated movements. My name is Boxy, like that. And it was just, her videos were very popular. This video here is 5 minutes long. Star Wars Kid, it's a 2-minute video of a guy doing dumb shit with like not a lightsaber. He does all kinds of moves. David After the Dentist. This was massive. 2 minutes of a kid recovering from anesthesia. Keyboard Cat, which is just a cat going.
Well, actually, all of this stuff is all very send to your mum innocent, like the David Dentist and the Charlie Bit My Finger, and like it's all very safe, right? These big memes. I think it was, and also it's all quite.
I saw this one the other day.
Right?
That made me laugh, but I don't know if it's old or not because I don't really keep up on this stuff. But it was CCTV footage, and it was a pregnant woman standing on a bus, and she was standing in the aisle, and a whole bunch of people were sitting, and a bunch of people were motioning for a woman to stand up to let her sit down. So the woman stands up, but then she's got like an amputated leg and she's got crutches. Like you don't realize this when she's sitting down. It's just when she swivels over, she's got like a fake leg and she's struggling to stand up so that this pregnant woman can sit down. And then as soon as the pregnant woman is just about to sit down, the whole scene freezes and this guy just comes in off the left. It's like a green screen and he just like he goes and sits on the seat, but like he's not sitting on the seat because it's like a green screen, right? So his legs aren't like where they need to be and stuff.
Okay.
It's so fucking stupid, but I thought it was really funny. I don't know if it's even a thing. I saw it and it was, I guess you guys aren't aware of this one.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's funny.
Sorry.
I'll see if I can find it. It was pretty funny, but
this is it. But the world is so much broader now. I think if you were to share the most popular meme, I think there's a good amount of people who just wouldn't know it. I don't know. Like things didn't go as broad as they did in the early days of the internet. You know, it feels like it was a smaller place than it is now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I guess.
you ever hear like all those like song remixes? But they're things that my parents would find funny.
Yeah,
Like
God.
Bomb Iran and Strangers on My Flight, like the after 9/11 and all that kind of stuff. Where the fuck does that shit come from? Like, I guess it's just the same place, but like, fuck, it's some of it is just the worst, isn't it?
Oh, can we, talking of all that kind of crap, can we talk about this Jeffrey Epstein shit that's happening right now?
What, the list and then the non-list and then now it's a hoax?
Yeah,
Obama, it's Obama's
that's
hoax.
one of the most incredible volte-face in recent political history. Like, to me, it felt like he built his entire base off shit like this.
Well, yeah, a lot of people seem to think so, but now his base are saying like, oh, he never mentioned it and stuff. So it's the same old.
There's a huge amount of backlash. Like he has on Truth Social, which is like the Trump dick sucker platform. People just go on there lapping at his anus. Everything he says, are like, sir, you're wrong about this and can't believe it. And even Marjorie Taylor Greene and morons, maniacs like that are coming out and saying,
yeah, but didn't they all just vote to block the release of the files? All of them just voted to block it, which is what
I mean. It's all
they're
because,
all melting off on social, but like every Republican voted to block it. Yeah,
right. But the thing is, I don't know if his base is genuinely going to let this one go.
Well,
because this is one of their all-time favorite conspiracy theories, and an awful lot of them are like, no, like we can't just say, oh yes, Mr. President, this was clearly nothing, because even in their darkest recesses of their absolute Trump-riddled minds, they must realize that this is the one thing that they just genuinely cannot let go, because it's all they've talked about.
Well, there's some video that they released where there's like 3 minutes of footage missing and stuff.
Literally, so and it's not even a good shot.
Even if they're pushed to
like
release the list, who's to say that it's just going to be, lots of
redacted?
Yeah, it's going to be all blanked out and redacted. Yeah, you won't even.
But yeah, apparently, it is genuinely like this is a moment where he's getting a lot of pushback against this, and I just thought how interesting to think that.
I just think of all the moments where he should have had tons of pushback that just materialized into nothing.
Right.
I just feel like this is just another one.
He could easily blame on the That was stuff he could easily blame on the Democrats and just say, well, this was this was them. And all he has to do is say things like, we're going to build a wall, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But this is something that their whole thing was that the Democrats are just pedos. And it's like this international pedo ring, and they're all part of it, and Donald Trump's going to save the day. And for him to then come into office and say, oh, no, I don't think the Epstein stuff is anything. They're like, excuse me?
Yeah.
That was the whole conspiracy that we've been talking about for the last 10, 15 years, was that this was a thing.
Yeah.
Pizzagate and all that shit. And now he's just trying to hand wave it all. I genuinely think that this might just be a moment where a lot of them are like, this is stupid. But
I wonder. Yeah.
Who knows? I just thought it was so fascinating to see first him and Elon turned on each other, and then this.
I saw this great post this morning. I can't find it, but it's basically it's Emperor Palpatine posting on Twitter.
I saw that.
Like,
so
the
funny.
Sith files are a Jedi hoax.
Yes,
it's orchestrated by Yoda, like evil, crypt.
That's funny. Yeah, I like that.
Like Sleepy Yoda and
Sleepy Yoda. Yeah, oh, man.
That's great.
That is good.
And false emails, Kenobi. It's been spread by the radical Jedi news media, fake news. Like, I mean, I just thought it was so funny that it's like so.
It was very funny.
They're talking about Order 66. There never was an Order 66. I don't know why people think there was, but if there was, and there may well have been, I think it was Yoda that did it. He's coming here, killing these kids.
Oh,
Mr. President, we've got a file that says you ordered Order 66. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe we should look at something else. What's Mace Windu up to these days? I never trusted that
guy. Can I tell you about the 24 hours in police custody that I watched last night? It was a two-parter. Oh my
god!
And
which is it? The Butcher of Suburbia or whatever.
Fucking hell!
So I've seen episode 1.
I switched it on.
I've only seen episode 1,
and I'm like, all right, I'm ready. I'm ready for an hour of no comment. Oh, no comment. There was not a single no comment. Like, this guy was just, it's unbelievable. I've never known anything like it. It was
crazy.
It is crazy.
So I've seen episode 1.
Okay.
For anyone that hasn't seen it, we're not going to spoil anything, but we will just give you, it's very early on in this episode, pretty much. The guy just confesses.
Yeah.
And
He's
The
done
weird thing
a
is
little
that-
bit of work to try to get away with it, but then realizes that
Pretty minimal.
he's not
yeah.
going to get away with it, and then just confesses. He's just like, yeah,
and
I
but
did it.
the thing is, I was watching it with Mrs. F. She'd already seen it, and I hadn't watched it. She goes, "You got to see it." I was like, "All right." So I watched episode 1, and at the end of it, I was like, "So how is there an episode 2?" She was like, "You'll see."
Oh
They got
my
to
God.
find out what it is. So I'm like, okay, I'm looking forward to this. Like this show is so good, but in the episode before this one, there's some. I think it involves a crime involving some underage people, and if they're under 18, according to UK law, you have to blur their face and you don't give their name and stuff like that, and you can't even have their voice,
Right.
to protect them because essentially they're still children. But they've replaced their blurred out faces with AI faces.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
And
What, in police custody?
yeah.
Oh no.
Which I am genuinely shocked because this show is so good and so well made.
Yeah.
And they obviously thought, look, we can't just have blurred out faces for a whole episode.
There were a couple
We'll
of
use
scenes.
AI.
I don't know if you noticed, but even it is a good show. It's well made, but I did notice even in this the Butcher of Suburbia episode,
Yeah.
they're interviewing a neighbor, and it's like it's so staged. You know, it's not like body cam footage of an interview with the neighbor or whatever. It's very produced, like after the fact. You know, the woman is like sitting on her couch, and you know the lighting and everything, and it's like, why have they done this? Like, just show us the body cam of the initial interview. Like, we don't need like the. You know, she's like, oh, she's always such a good neighbor and she had so many friends. And I wonder if this and that. It's like, I don't need to see this.
I feel like at its best, it's just you're pretty much at the station and then with the detectives trying to work
that's
out
it.
the case.
Yeah, I think that's all you need. You don't need all like
I don't want all this soap
bits.
shit.
Yeah. It is.
Like,
it felt like a soap.
The most shocking episode I've seen, and this show, if you haven't seen it, it's a British show. It's on Channel 4. The most shocking episode, I think, was the one where they ran over that guy and showed the footage of this car hitting this guy who's prone on the ground and just fucking.
Oh, was that?
Him.
They stabbed him first, though, didn't they?
Yeah,
There's
so he's
like a
prone
group
on the
of
ground.
them.
He's not dead.
Yeah.
But then they run him over.
Yes.
The fact they showed that, I was so shocked.
That's unbelievable.
Like this show is genuinely shocking. And when you see there was a bunch of burglars who just busted into this shop and were attacking people with machetes and stuff. There's a honeypot killing where these girls seduce this guy and then this lad comes in and fucking kills him. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
and
the shit that happens is crazy.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah.
But you know what? There is such a weird amount of glamorizing of crime and violence and the whole gangster thing and the tropes about guns and jewels and doing this bad shit. But when you look at it, it's so grimy and seedy and everything around them. Their people are so dirty and unpleasant, and the way they're living, their houses, their clothes, everything is so grubby that you realize there's no glamour here.
And
when
so
you
common
actually
as
see
well.
the reality,
You never see Michael Portillo out there.
Well, he was bad mouthing my bitch, so quite frankly, one had to step in and say something. And of course, hands
one
were
had to
flying
lay
around.
the
And
smack down on that ass.
the knife just slipped out of one's pocket and into his heart. What can one say? Other than that, no comment. Unless you wish to discuss trains. We can talk about trains all day.
It's a great show. Well, I watched the second part of it last night, and we've got a couple more because we were watching. We watched The Gold, season 1 and 2 of The Gold, which was really good.
Mrs. F loved that show.
Yeah, it's great. Really, really good.
Yeah.
Both seasons were solid. Really nice. Really good. So we were just off the back of watching that, and then and now we're back into. Fuck, there's another one. I think it's called like Murder 24/7 or something on number 1 or 2.
I feel like, you know what,
well.
this is why I think this show has taken a while to really get the traction that it should have as being exceptional, is that 24 Hours in Police Custody sounds like every other show that's like police interceptors and traffic cops patrol, police on the patrol. It's like they all sound the same, but this one is so far ahead of the rest of them and so much better. It just suffers from having a dog shit name. But it's if you haven't seen it, you're in for a treat. There's loads of episodes.
Really good. Yeah.
Never go to Bedfordshire. I'm never going to Bedfordshire.
No, I know.
That's
it's always it is a lot of it does seem to take place in and around Bedfordshire. It's crazy. But I guess
Luton.
I guess they got to find like a place where, you know, they can embed people, because there's loads of footage. Like you can tell that just filming everything
they
pretty
got
much.
80 cameras.
It's crazy. It's
it's
well
crazy.
done though. It's good. It's a good show. But yeah, no, I think we got like 3 or 4 more to watch from this recent sort of season that came out. It was like 6 or 7 episodes. So, but they're always fun to just kind of binge through, you know.
It's a great show. Yeah, it is a great
it's
show.
good. We
what have you been watching, Lulu?
like true crime
Any
stuff,
telly?
but I have like a limit too. After a while, I just have to not watch it.
I just finished season 3 of Squid Game. Now I think it's shit. I think I hated it.
What? There's a season 3?
It's not really. It's just a promotional thing. It was season 2. They split season 2 into 2 parts in order to get more, in order to drag it out.
Was season 2 any good? I thought that at the end of season 1 it was kind of done. Like I
don't think Squid Game has ever been all that good. I think it's interesting. It was interesting the first time as an idea, but I think
it was all right.
It was okay.
It was all right, and I think
I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it enough to come back for season 2
in it, which is awful.
Yeah, that is awful,
and it's so contrived, as always. But it's just so, and people behave in such insane ways, you know, which is so unbelievable, and you know, it really is so odd and just bad, and I just didn't like it. I think it just didn't feel at all believable,
right?
Any of it, you know, like from the insanely overacted, you know, VIPs in the sort of, you know, above it, to the people running it, to the people in it, to their behavior, to like the people the detectives trying to solve the crime. Everyone is some absolute caricature written by someone who has no connection to any reality,
right?
And I just think it's just I don't know. Is the target audience children? Because obviously the insane violence implies that it's not. But I think feels like who it's made for. It feels like it's Fortnite of television. Do you know what I mean?
God, I like that analogy a lot.
Yeah, it's garbage. So
successful garbage.
Don't watch Squid Game. I really regret it.
Watch the Mr. Beast version of Squid Game. That's the superior one, I'm sure.
Nice.
I read some really bad stories about what it was like working on that show as staff or as a contestant. So go and do your research and read about that if you wish. But
on the Mr. Beast Squid Game,
Mr. Beast Squid Game, there was a couple of. I've read a couple of reports of people who worked on it and said it was an absolute shit show and unsafe and blah blah blah. But that's their opinion. I'm not repeating it. I'm not slandering or defaming Mr. Beast in any way. I'm just saying go ahead and read it. It was an interesting piece of potential reality, potential fiction. I don't know. Hope that satisfies any lawyers.
Can I tell you guys that if you haven't played it, the new RimWorld DLC is really good. It's really fun.
Really?
Yeah. You get.
Does that surprise you? I don't think they've had a bad one.
Well, the last one was all the Eldritch horror stuff, which is not really for me. It's not. I just
very hard as well.
I don't like that kind of stuff typically. So like I didn't bother with it. But this one is there's a focus on basically you get like a grav jump core that you can build a ship around. So your base,
right? You
can jump your base around the map.
So you can move the whole base?
Yeah, and it can get.
But it needs to be a certain shape and size.
Yes,
surely.
Yeah, it is size limited, and then obviously you can't house 40 people. I mean, you could eventually. It can get big, but to start with, you're kind of like 2-3 people. In a but you the whole thing can move, so you want to get you want your food preparing stuff and whatever, but you can just go to any part of the map you want, provided you have enough fuel, and you can reach it, and you can just land there and just live there, mine it out, kill all the animals, make some meals, and then on to the next place.
Such a lot of work for RimWorld for me. I just dread thinking about how much work
it's great.
it is.
It is really good. You should if you like RimWorld and you want to.
I'll be honest with you though. I think it's easier for us to do it as people who are streaming it.
Yeah.
Because it's long form content that people get invested in the characters. I always name the characters after people in chat.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's a nice background thing.
Yeah.
But playing it alone, I wouldn't bother. It's just too much work.
It is
and just
so
silently
much work.
Plugging away at something that's like
I was really obsessed with it. I was up till 4 a.m. playing this for ages, and I cannot bring myself to put that much effort in again. because it all went wrong at some point.
Yeah, it always
like,
does.
But there's no
when you
one there to
recover
laugh
from when it
about
goes
with.
wrong is when it's the best, though. As annoying as it is, you know, you gotta it's a roll with the punches game, you know, and then
true.
And
really
it's
is.
never it's never the same playthrough twice, so it's great. It is a content generator, it's a story generator, isn't it? It's so well done. But yeah, I've been playing that, and before that I played a whole bunch of 2 Point Museum, which I loved, surprisingly, because I mean, I like the 2 Point games enough, but I always sort of see them as like not having like you know, enough depth and stuff. But 2 Point Museum is great. You just like unlock the game as you go, and there's a surprising amount of depth to it. It's great. It's really fun.
There's a new DLC as well. Did you see?
That's right.
Like,
yeah.
Is it like an interesting little
fantasy? It's
new,
like
new pack.
The expeditions are more like a Final Fantasy team sort of thing that you send off. You know, like you have like a wizard and a rogue and a knight and stuff like that. So there's a whole new sort of mechanic for expeditions and stuff around that stuff. It seems kind of cool.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Well,
it's nice.
Well, that is our podcast for today. Thank you for listening, everyone.
I need a quick Pidgey update for people.
Oh.
I've stopped feeding them.
Oh.
It got out of control. It wasn't just the Mr. and Mrs. Pidgey. It was like 8 Pidgeys every morning. They were flying in the window every time I forgot to put seed out. I've had to stop. I haven't fed them for over a week. And now Mr. and Mrs. Pidgey just sit on the windowsill and hang out and groom each other and then leave. It's just a safe space for them. But none of the other Pidgeys come. And I'm glad of that. I should never have started this. I thought it was a sweet thing. I realized this was my own folly, my own mistake.
Cycle has come to an end.
Lesson learned.
This is
now,
so funny, dude.
Bird table. The seed goes on the table. They can fight it out over there. But at the moment, I realized the folly of my error of my ways. I apologize to the Pidgey loving community, but no more feeding the Pidgeys from the window.
You can't let them in.
This is so fucking good.
We had a baby seagull in our backyard because it is seagull baby having season. 5 o'clock in the morning, every morning, it sounds like a war zone outside my house. Yeah, they're all on the roofs around here.
Can I tell you, I had a slice of quiche that, and I was eating it on the harbour side.
Nice, with Michael Portillo.
And as soon as I got out, it was vegan quiche. As soon as I got it out, I felt this movement, and a seagull came down and it had took a huge chunk out of the center of this quiche.
Jesus.
And it ran away. And I was sort of shocked. I was sat there, and then another seagull came for it as well. And I was like, oh my God. And so I had it in my hand. And as soon as I would get it out, all the seagulls would like turn their heads to me. It was like I was in a horror movie. And they would just fly at me, like for real. And I couldn't, so I started like walking away. And so I walked around the harbour, and I realized that those same seagulls were following me. They knew that I was waiting for an opportunity to get the bit of quiche out and have a little snack as I was walking, because they were like hunting me. They knew they'd had a taste of it, and they were like, this is some good quiche. And they wanted that fucking quiche. But remember last week we were mocking people who were complaining about aggressive seagulls. The karma of the Triforce podcast immediately got me.
We take
I was
our
a
powers.
victim
We think
of a
them
seagull attack
as very, very minor powers. We should be very careful. I get emails all the time pointing out things that we suggested that have come to pass. But that's for a mailbag episode. This is not a mailbag episode, so let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Wrap it up. Okay,
Goodbye.
thanks. Bye.
Adieu.